Hey guys, this is Darron. You're about to watch a video from my full stack React Native course on Udemy. The course has a total of 5 projects ranging from beginner to expert. You will learn everything from styling to Redux to Node.js to Mongo Atlas to authentication. I am posting half of each project on YouTube. And if you like what you see, you can view the rest of the course on Udemy. And make sure you use the promo code GeekMODE. Take care. Okay, guys, so let's build some more components. The next component we're going to create is our Byline component. Create a Byline folder. And within your Byline folder, create an index.js file and a styles.js file. Within our index file, we're going to import React from React. Let's import our prop types. Let's import our view component from React, from React Native. Let's also import our small text component that we created in the last video. Let's import our styles, which we haven't yet created. Okay, this is going to be a functional component, just like the others. So const byline arrow function return. Okay, and within our return, we're going to add our view component. We're going to add another view as a child of our parent view. And within our child view, we're going to import our small text component. We're going to do this twice. Within our child view, we're going to use our style prop. We're going to call this styles.row. Also, let's add our props to our byline component. Our props will be date and author. Within our first small text component, we're going to add the curly brackets. Within our curly brackets, we're going to add date dot to local string. Within our second small text component, we're going to add our author prop. Now we're going to set up our prop types. It's equal to an object. Within our object, we're going to add our date prop types, instance of date. We're going to set this prop type to is required. We're going to add our author prop. Set this equal to a string and and set this as as required as well. Okay. Now, let's change our styles. I actually accidentally added this code to the styles file, so let me cut that and paste it within our index. Now, let's update our styles file. React Native style sheet. Within our styles cups, we're going to add our row styling and give it the flex direction of row, justify content of space between, and the margin bottom of 5. Let's make sure those styles are being used in our byline. Yes, they're going through. The next component we're going to create is our thumbnail component. A thumbnail will show our image of our articles along with its title. So type in thumbnail, set that up as a folder. Just like our other components, we're going to add an index.js file and a styles.js file. And we're going to import React from React, import our prop types, and from React Native, we're going to import our image background, and our view. Let's add our styling. Let's add our title component. We're going to import our globals as well. Our thumbnail is going to be a functional component. Now let's not forget to add our return. Export default thumbnail. Okay. Now let's add our props. We're going to have a URL prop, which will navigate us to the article. Our title text for showing the title of the article, and our styling. Now, let's go ahead and add our image styling. This is going to be the background color that's shown on our title. This blue, transparent background color. background color key, backticks, quotes, our globals, dot colors, dot primary. Give it 7.7 for some transparency. And right now we're going to add our title component. You'll understand why we're doing this later on as we build the component. We're going to add our title property, our title component that we created in the last video. And between our title component, we're going to add our title text prop. We're going to use our style prop and use styles dot title. Nice. Within our return, we're going to use our view component. And now this is where the fun happens. We're going to add our curly brackets. We're going to add some logic to our thumbnail component. Type in URL.length is greater than 0 else we're going to use this. Okay. So if the URL length of our image is greater than 0, we're going to use the coding which we'll add here, which will utilize our image background from our React Native directory. Now, if we get an article that doesn't have an image and the URL length is 0, then we're going to have some default view that we'll add right here. All right, so let's start coding. Add our image background component. Within our image background component, we're going to add our title variable that we added earlier. Let me go ahead and add it here as well within our view so you get an idea of how we're using our variable. Okay, so the title of the article isn't going to change regardless of the logic. Article will always have a title, which is why we created our variable just to save us some time rather than typing in the same code and for each situation. So back to our image background component. We're going to add the style prop. We're going to give it an array and add styles dot image. And then also we're going to add our custom styling that we added right here. I'm going to add style, image style. Okay, cool. And now we have to use our source prop, which is basically going to grab our image. Type in URI URL. And within our view component, we're also going to use our style prop. Set that equal to an array. And it's going to take the same styling that we have in our image background component. Let's go ahead and add our prop types. Add our style prop. Actually, no. Let's not use our style prop. Let's add our URL, prop types, string. Set that as is required. And our title text prop. This is going to be required as well. That string that is required. Okay. Hold on. Image styling. Typed in image style on accident. So okay. Now let's add our styles. We're going to have a container. Image styling. And our title styling. Container. Or the height 170. The border bottom width of 3. And the border style will be set to solid. Our image will have a height of 100%. Justify content, we'll set that equal to flex end. And we're going to give our title the padding of 5. Let's return back to our index file. Let's make sure we add our container styling to our parent view. Set that equal as an array. Add styles dot container. Then also our styles property. All right, everything looks good. The last component that we'll create in this video is our article component. So create an article folder and add our index.js file and our styles.js file. All right, so let's import React from React. Import our prop types. And from React Native, we're going to import our view component and our touchable opacity component. Let's import our styles from styles. Import our byline component. import our app text component. Import our thumbnail. Okay. Article is going to be a functional component. Export our component. And we're going to give our article a props property. And we're going to add our const. And this is how we'll destructure our props. I chose to do it this way because our article is going to take a lot of props. And if you add too many destructured props here in the component, it can get nasty. So it's a lot neater just to add it right here when you're actually using a lot of props. So image URL, style above that, title, author, date, description. Within our return, we're going to add our touchable opacity component. Use our style and our styles prop. Use our view component. Make sure we imported that. Yes. Within our view, we're going to add our thumbnail component. My IDE automatically grabs the props that we created for our components when our components are set to as required. If you remember, for our thumbnail, our URL and our title text are set to required. So that's why it automatically built. Pretty neat. Now, below our thumbnail component, we're going to add our view component. And within our view, we're going to add our byline component. And also our app text component as well. Okay. Now, for our URL, we're going to give it the value of image URL. Our title text will use our title prop that we just created. And remember, we also have a style prop that we added to our thumbnail as well. It's just our style prop wasn't set to required, which is why it didn't automatically build when I created this component, when I use this component. So we're going to add styles.thumbnail. Okay, good. Our view is going to have, we're going to add styles to that as well. Styles.content. Our byline has an author and date property. App text is going to have a description going to use our description prop. Set that right here. We're going to give our app text the styling of styles dot description. Let's scroll down and add our prop types. Our image URL. With a prop type of string. Title prop will be a string as well. I'm going to set that to is required. Description will be a prop type of a string as well. As you guess, it's going to be required. Date, prop types dot instance of date, which we did in the earlier component. Author will be a string. I'll set that to is required as well. Our index will be a number. I'll set that as is required as well. Now, as you can see, we don't have our index component, our index prop used anywhere on the screen. And that's because when we grab our data that we created, we're actually grabbing multiple articles. And each article, when it's mapped out, it has an index. And for JavaScript, when you're actually using any kind of data, any kind of list, you have to give it an index, a number. So that's why we have our index prop. Let's go ahead and add that here as well, even though we're not using it. On press, which will basically, once we press the article, it will redirect us to the website where we can actually read the article. So that's going to be a function. And this is going to be is required. Okay. Now, let's create our styling. Our thumbnail will have the margin bottom of 5. Our content will be padding horizontal. We're going to set that equal to 5. Our description we're going to give it the color of globals. Oh, we forgot to import our globals. Import globals. Okay, nice. Now it should work. Colors dot text color. Awesome. Thumbnail content description. Let's make sure they're being used. Thumbnail content description. Okay. Also our byline component. It's not going through. Byline.
check out our byline. Got the export default byline. Now, if I return to my articles, now our byline component is going through. Okay, awesome. Everything looks good here. In our next video, we're actually going to get something shown on our screen. I'll see you then.